And we're back for yet another conference tournament prediction. This time, the Big 12, another one of those arguments that you could throw them into one of the best conferences in the NCAA. They're probably in the argument for second. But nonetheless, we're going to hop right into it. It's not a large bracket, which is kind of weird, especially whenever you're talking about a big conference. But nonetheless, the 9-8 game is the TCU Horned Frogs versus the Kansas State Wildcats. Where are you going with?
I went Kansas State, and I think that might only be because I think you're going TCU.
I am going TCU. I could not bet against the Frogs.
TCU fan. So for that reason, I went Kansas State, not because I think they're that much better. I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I do too. Kansas State comes into this game with 4 conference wins, TCU with 5. It'll be an ugly slugfest. But yeah, give me TCU. I don't know why, but I'm just picking TCU over Kansas State.
TCU fan.
Whoever wins this won't win next round, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I went TCU. You went Kansas State. So the 7-10 game, I actually really like the 7 seed here, Oklahoma.
I do as well. I think this game isn't very close.
Iowa State hasn't won a conference game. They're 2-21 on the year. They're terrible. If this game is close, Oklahoma needs to go home early because they got no chance. But nonetheless, we're both picking Oklahoma. I can speak for Daniel on that.
100% agree.
I'm not even going to question him. I wouldn't even waste his time with that question.
Nope. Sorry, Iowa State Hawkeyes. Nope, that's
Cyclones.
Cyclones. Yeah.
So they're not. He doesn't even know who your mascot is.
My bad. There's a lot.
But now on to the second round: the Baylor Bears versus the Horned Frogs of Texas Christian. Daniel, I think we both know where we're going.
Yeah, I'm going Baylor, and I will say I think this is the only game of that round that isn't super close.
Yeah, first time around, Baylor beat them by 18. That's a drumming in my eyes. Second game got postponed, but nonetheless, Baylor. I wrote down in my notes right here. This is Baylor's tournament to lose.
Baylor's 21-1.
Yeah, I mean they're 21-1. They've only lost 1 conference game, but Baylor's rolling. They got one of the best players in the conference in Jared Butler. They have no reason not to win this tournament, but I'm going with Baylor over the Horned Frogs. And now the 5-4 matchup, this one could go either way. Oklahoma State somehow, I guess, is March Madness eligible, even though NCAA hasn't officially made it official, but they're still traveling to this game. And there's this is one of the weirdest situations that I've ever seen unfold. But because their appeal, is the NCAA they're gonna let him because Cade, 100%.
Yeah,
no reason
because of Cade Cunningham, and I almost want to pick them just because of Cade Cunningham, but I can't. I'm going West Virginia.
Press Virginia. West Virginia is a very good team, man. I watched them and Baylor play a few weeks ago. One of the best regular season games I have seen this season. West Virginia.
Yeah.
It was a close overtime game. Baylor ended up winning by 5. West Virginia should have won the game. McNeil is unbelievable.
He's awesome.
He spreads the floor so well for them. Kentucky kid. Shout out
to
Northern
Kentucky, my guy.
Keep hooping, my guy. It's always fun to see the homeboys grow. But yes, I actually went Oklahoma State though. Oklahoma State, man, they're another one of those teams. I mean, they're unreal. They've been rolling. Only loss in the last 7 or 8 games is to the Baylor Bears. So I took Oklahoma State over Press Virginia and Coach Huggins.
West Virginia against teams that aren't quadrant 1 is 12-1.
Yeah, I mean they're a very good team. This conference is sneaky good at the top. Like the
top
100%. 5 seeds are just or top 6 rather. Top 6 are just holy cow, they can go on a run.
Yeah,
7's okay, then the rest is garbage.
Yeah,
but this 3-6 matchup, another one of those games, the 4-5 and the 3-6 could potentially be overtime thrillers, popcorn, get yourself ready. But Texas Tech, real quick before you tell me who you have winning, the Texas Longhorns are 4-1 in the last 5.
They're hot.
That one loss was to Texas Tech. So go ahead. Who you think?
I think this game is going to be beautiful. And now Texas Tech is the 6th seed, correct?
Yep.
Texas Tech finished as number 17 in the AP poll. Texas is number 3 and finished as number 24 in the AP poll.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So very big little flop around right there.
Yeah.
I'm going Texas Tech. Texas is hot, and I worry about the idea of they just played pretty recently, and Texas Tech beat them. And I do worry about that a lot because I know how hard it is to beat a team twice within a month. But I have to go with them.
Yeah, I also went the Raiders, the Red Raiders. Texas Tech, man, their guard play. What can't you say about it? They got really good players all around. They're incredibly well coached. Chris Beard, one of the best coaches in the game. I also went with the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Now this one, I'm intrigued to see where you went. 7th seed Oklahoma versus the 2-seeded Kansas. Who you rocking?
I went Kansas.
Did you?
I think it's a closer game than I want to give it credit for, but I went Kansas.
I went Oklahoma. I think
really.
That's
a big time upset because I was gonna say I think this game is gonna be closer than people think because I thought you were gonna ride it and walk away with Kansas.
No, Oklahoma. I'm on a train of Kansas is not as good as everybody thinks they are.
I agree.
I've watched them and never gotten blown away by them. I'm just not that impressed by them. Their big wins, are there. They're the one team to beat Baylor, and they didn't just beat Baylor. They beat them pretty good. But then they bounced back and beat UTEP by 5. And it was a close game. And it's just they don't have that wow factor for me that makes me want to sit there and watch them. So I went Oklahoma. They're a team that I watch and I'm like, they have that potential, man, to make a run in the conference tournament. I'm not too sure how they'll look and manage in March Madness, but in the conference tournament, I think it suits them really well. So yeah, I went with Oklahoma.
Oklahoma is 5-8 against Quadrant 1. Kansas is 6-8. I think this game is going to be really good.
Oh yeah, it would be if Oklahoma can just get out of Iowa State and move on. That game could be the best one of the weekend, even though that's very hard because those 3, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, Texas Tech, and then Oklahoma, Kansas, get your popcorn ready.
The top 7 all finished in the top 33 of the AP poll. So I know 33 is a weird number, but top 33.
Yeah. So on to the next round, you have Baylor, West Virginia. Who are you going?
I went Baylor. I think they're too good.
So I actually went Oklahoma State over Baylor.
Wow.
The Big 12 Player of the Year is Cade Cunningham.
I agree.
And well, he is. It's official. But Cade Cunningham, it's time for him to just absolutely dominate March. And
he's the number 1 pick in the NBA draft.
I've released my big board, and I don't have him.
You don't agree. I know. That's why I said it.
But if he shows up and shows out and leads this team to March Madness, and the NCAA will have no choice but to just be okay.
If Oklahoma State wins this tournament, Oklahoma State might be a 2 seed, 3 seed.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to think because they're a 5 seed in their conference tournament, but
yeah,
I have them beating Baylor. So now, second round, you have Kansas and Texas Tech, right?
Yeah, and I roll with the Red Raiders of Texas Tech.
Yeah, so do I. I have Texas Tech beating Oklahoma. I really want Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State, really bad, in the conference championship. That's what I really want, that
5 versus 7, and that would still be an amazing game that we would love to watch.
Yeah, I mean, my Final Four I have the 5, 6, 7, and then 1 seed. So, so my championship is Oklahoma State, Texas Tech, and I'm rolling with the Oklahoma State, man, Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys, Oklahoma State, and obviously, Player of the Year in the conference will
Cade Cunningham
be honors.
Yeah.
Who you got?
In the championship, who wins it?
Yep.
I wanted to go Texas Tech really bad. I really did. I have a feeling about them, like you say, in that gut feeling. I really want to go Texas Tech.
Yep.
And they're a team that I'm going to, in my big time March Madness bracket, I'm going to pick them to win some games. But here I have Baylor, 22-1, man. They're good. I think they're top notch.
Anytime anybody talks right now about Final Four locks, Baylor and Gonzaga are the first 2 off. People are like Baylor, Gonzaga, then who are the other 2? It's so for them to be in that conversation,
I think
to lose.
100%. I think that if Baylor wins this conference tournament, they deserve the overall number 1 seed.
I would agree because Gonzaga, I mean,
they're not
outside of their non-conference schedule where they played everybody under the sun. Now they're playing nobody under the sun that really even gives a rip. So
yeah, I mean, and you can say they're all tune-up games. Yeah, they probably look awesome, but no one's gonna watch the WCC conference tournament.
I didn't even know what was going on until I saw on my CBS app that Gonzaga plays tonight against BYU. I was like, oh, that tournament's going on. I forgot.
Yeah, and now I could see that game going a different direction.
I can't. No, Gonzaga will win by 20.
Really? 20? Now, if they win by 20, I give them the number 1 overall.
They'll win by 20.
But I have Baylor, and who do you have?
I have Oklahoma State. So we again went different ways. So I'll be very interested to see you. Pac-12 is up next. Catch you guys in just a few minutes.